Hello everyone and welcome to the last in the series, Lesson 10, The Future of Email, with myself, Anthony Mitchell, and Florian Vierke. Hello Florian.
Hi Anthony, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm very good as well. Thanks a lot. So, last episode, and no, it's of course not the last episode, but at least the last in the beginner's guide, episode 11. And after that, we will see. Gets a bit more interesting.
Exactly.
Perhaps. Maybe.
Yeah, of course. And it was now 2 weeks since we last recorded the last video, user engagement at your house. So thanks for that. And now I've arrived back safely. We can then crack on with the future of email. So first of all, I think to kick off the episode, I think it's actually there's nowhere, it's not fixed in stone what the future is going to be like. So really, we're going to make some forecasts and basically use our knowledge to talk about that and discuss that.
Yeah, and let's be completely honest with that. It's not my favorite topic because it's just prediction. But that's fine.
No, exactly.
Let's just talk. So what's the future? What's the past?
Well, okay, let's discuss what happened in the last year, perhaps. I know that security was a big topic of 2016. As well as that, although we've seen in the last couple of years the shift between IP reputation and domain reputation. So that's also quite a big talking point, and I think we're going to see more and more of that as we go along. By the way, nice hair, Florian.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
It's really,
I like it
really
as
nice.
well.
Yeah.
And that's more the past of my hairs than the future, but yeah, that's how the time goes.
I was going to say, I think in the future we'll have no hair, so we'll have other things to worry about.
We don't need hair anymore, I think. Hair's useless.
Exactly.
Nice but useless. Like my mustache.
So yeah, exactly. So just to go, so we've seen a shift from IP reputation to domain reputation. I think also that we hear whisperings of IPv6. Now, how that might affect us in the future. We've got a lot of ISPs that are IPv6 enabled as we speak, but it's not, let's say, rolled out. So we're still using the IPv4. So in many ways, we're still using a lot of filters are still gauging some reputation on IP. I think this will be a big challenge for us. And what do you think about that, Florian?
Yeah, I also think this whole topic is together. Somehow it's connected. I mean, the companies need to move to IPv6 one day because there's just no IPs left anymore. And if you don't have IPv4, or if you go to IPv6 and have more or less unlimited number of IPs, then the model to measure reputation based on IP doesn't work anymore. And that's why the shift to domain reputation is very important. And the biggest ISPs or the bigger ones already do that. For the smaller ones, depends if they are or will be able to manage this, because it's also combined with additional cost. Yeah, we will see, but that will definitely be the future.
Yeah, I like to think so.
What do you think?
Well, I think it will be the future. As if to say, will it make our jobs any easier? I believe it will do. I think that there will be other question marks. Say, for example, a senders using dedicated IP addresses, because a lot of them were using shared IP pools. Is that going to be a thing of the past? More than likely, because there's such huge ranges available on IPv6. Why shouldn't it be that every sender has their own IP reputation? So that might play a part. I think the biggest challenges as well is whereby these spammers, they get hold of these IP ranges or use these IPs. It could be quite difficult for the filters to judge whether to block them or to realize if they're actually genuine and legitimate senders. So I think that could be a big challenge to actually combat spam on the new IPs. I know at the moment you can, let's say, get away with sending X amount of volume over a period of time before the IP blocks you. So I think that will be a big challenge for us.
Yeah, exactly. And also for bigger senders, it's already hard. It became harder already. So they need to authenticate their mails. They need to use SPF, DKIM, DMARC, TLS. So there's a few ways to measure and to have more security, but also ISPs require or force senders to use more security, more authentication. Yeah, that's the way to go.
What do you think about TLS, Florian? So I know we discussed a lot in the last year that this technology been around for quite a while. Some clients are adopting it. Some clients are looking at it. What do you think about it? Do you think it's important? How would you address TLS?
Yeah, I think it is. It is important because it just means that you encrypt your data and protect it from external people to read your emails. And depending of the content, of course, it may be more or less important, but in the end, it's still your data, and I don't see any reason why you should want that somebody else is reading your emails. I mean, if you want to publish something, use Twitter or use a blog or Facebook, but not your emails. I think nobody wants that. By the way, I've got a very interesting comment. And,
oh, please.
Thanks for that. I really appreciate every mail that arrives us. Somebody asked, what do you see as the biggest threat to current deliverability methods in the future? Did we cover that?
I don't think we did. I don't think that. Would you like to go first, or should I?
No. I asked you.
Oh, I was going to say, I was just trying to
that.
buy myself some time there to answer the question accurately.
Please,
what do I think the biggest challenge, if I can repeat the question, what do I think the biggest challenge will be to deliverability in the future?
The question was, what do you see as the biggest threat to current deliverability methods in the future? Yeah.
That's a good question. I think now
It's a lot of traffic here, right?
What I think is funny. I'm going to say this. This is not a politician's way of getting out of it. Now, I think the current situation is this. I think a lot of the biggest threat to deliverability is for senders who perhaps don't, let's say, keep up with best practice. They keep in line with what's going on in the market, in the world, let's say, in the deliverability world. So it's those senders that will not change their practices, and perhaps they're not looking at inactive data. They're not looking at new technology such as DMARC, TLS. I think that's probably still going to be one of the biggest challenges or threats to deliverability for now.
So the senders who deserved to get in spam, you mean?
Yeah. I think I touched upon it earlier. Now, it might be an interesting conversation when IPv6 comes about, and then we have to deal with some high volume spam. But it's not going to be like a switch turned on overnight. This is going to be a gradual thing. So I would say the biggest challenge is for those senders who perhaps they're not kind of keeping their hand in and keeping with the times. I think that's the biggest challenge for deliverability and for the client sending with ISPs.
Yeah, I agree. Biggest challenge is that you continuously work on your list and best practices, and not just say, well, deliverability is something that I do once, like setup, onboarding, and
yes.
As soon as it's over, then I can just do whatever I want. I think it's not working that way. Deliverability is an ongoing task that needs to be done regularly. Reviewed, list management, and so on. It's ongoing content review, check your results, and so on. And that's more and more important in the future and in the past. And there was also some publications recently by Gmail and Hotmail, which explained more or less how the filters work. And all this is, just speaking the same language. That's what we tell all the time. So I appreciate that. That you're confirming the statements, and that's the challenge for the future. And then you will always also be able to send emails in 100 years or 1,000, I would say.
1,000 years. So we'll still be okay for a job then, Florian.
We will be dead at that time. So that's fine.
We might be reincarnated as an MTA. Sorry, I got ahead of myself there.
Most likely, yeah.
Or maybe MTA's one is. I don't know, but email will still be around, hopefully.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about the challenges actually, but I think on that note, I would like to flip it and say what a positive thing could be. I feel like that as a community, things are growing in the right direction. So you have the ESPs now working with ISPs a lot more closer than before, particularly, let's say, 5 years ago. So now we're on the same page. We're kind of working with each other to make sure that we're all compliant with the rules of the specific countries, that we're sending to. So I think that's a good way. We're actually turning the tables in that sense. We're working together as a community,
Yeah.
which is quite huge.
And we have better tools like the postmaster pages. So
Exactly.
deliverability is not anymore such a big secret. There's pages offered by ISPs directly, giving feedback to the numbers, and it's much easier to get support. But yeah, still the responsibility is on sender side. Yeah,
That's it. Fair
that's
play.
the
The future's bright, Florian.
Yeah.
The future is.
Especially what in terms of the next episode 12, because that's one of my favorite topics, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh yes. So let's just say thank you for listening for this lesson, and let's have a little discussion about the next lesson. So what can we expect, Florian? So we have a few series or episodes lined up. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we have prepared a lot of topics, and or at least discussed a lot of very interesting topics. And so the next episode 12, will be 12 things I like and hate about email. So it will be a formal talk, which I'm really looking forward to. And after that, we will set up a survey, and you can vote for your favorite topic, and then let's see. On an ongoing base, we will speak about the favorite topics.
Sounds like some good user engagement there, Florian.
User engagement. Yeah, that's user engagement, exactly.
Practice what you preach. So that sounds very good. Cool, Florian.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to it personally, and I hope all of you do. Thanks again for listening, everyone. And yeah, it's been a good series. And catch out for the next one.
Yeah.
Watch out for the next one.
Thanks, Anthony. And
cheers.
See you next week, in 2 weeks. Bye.
Thanks, Florian. See ya. Bye bye.